So, welcome to this presentation. The benefit of this presentation is it is easy to grasp, so it is not ASM. And we want to talk a little bit about the ideas and the concept behind this book with three authors. Albert Fleischmann is here. Second one was Stefan, a student at JOHANNEUM. Frankly said, he did a lot of work. Yeah, we earned it, and myself, who has the myself. So this book is a camouflage book. This is a remark. So the front is okay. The inside is not fully what will be in the future. So it is the draft we did, and it is a copy only for you to have something in hand. I want to give it around so that you have some feeling what the book can be, and I will talk a little bit about. And here we have the information from Springer. Maybe you give it round, and if somebody's interested, takes out a picture, paper for this. And it is a project. First of all, it is one of the projects we did in the Open S-BPM initiative. So it is part of the activities of the institute. Why it is not so big? And it is, of course, then also a project between JOHANNEUM, we said, and Metasonic. And thanks to Albert Fleischmann to organize that it will be now available at Springer. I think end of May it should be finished. So what was one of the core ideas is this, that is the red ribbon, which is the idea, the main concept. So we wanted to do something which is, or the other point is, how can we teach and transport the idea of S-BPM? So many of us are working on universities too, yeah, and we have to think about how can we teach it, only for an example. And there was one idea behind, and that is now the result. And especially there was the point, how can we make it, I read it, perceptible, how can we feel it? So there is something to live it, more or less. And there was a starting point of as a root idea. There was the teaching and learning company. I have a picture on the next slide then from Technik Academy, which is, there are a lot of learning factories around. Yeah? So think about something where you have equipment and where you can live processes. And this special institute had the idea, so they developed some scenarios with certain problems which can happen in real companies. And there come out the idea, how can we, or is it a good idea to model these processes, which are mainly communication problems in the end, with S-BPM? So that there's some, so really to live it. This is a picture out of this, so this is a standard teaching environment we know from many universities and institutions, but nevertheless it is a well-developed concept with clear scenarios, how to teach certain problems in logistics and manufacturing, and the core problems will be, of course, communication problems. And we took one out of these problems, and that was the idea to start to think about how to use it for S-BPM. And the main point is then structured versus unstructured communication here. So that are these ideas. So visualize the examples, processes with S-BPM, of course Metasonic suite in that case. Develop some scenarios to have clear themes to teach, and that is also the idea of illustrated, make a step-to-step solution. So present a possible solution step by step, which is then, in that case, I will show you a click through the Metasonic suite according to the developed scenarios. And one inspiration was also, Christian is here, yeah, also the teaching idea, this quiz example was also rather available at that time, and that was also some inspiration to develop this idea a little bit further. So demonstrate some general communication patterns. So on the bottom you see already one picture out of the book, yeah, which demonstrates the basic scenario, which is a production manager or manufacturing manager, operations manager, whatever term you want, has the problem to change the production schedule. And he, in that case, he has to communicate or ask logistics to accept the change. And there are two possibilities. It can be accepted or not. Or you'll never hear again from this guy. And we heard already, so that is a perfect example for the exception scenario, even if you do not want to call it exceptions. Nevertheless, I like the word exceptions. Yeah, that was the kickoff more than a year ago. So writing and a book is a hard work, I think. So that was the kickoff in Graz. We know the two of the three shown people, I think. And that is the main concept. So I tried to visualize a little bit the main concept we developed to have the structure of the book available. Is there a laser pointer here? We start with the whole thing is embedded in a real story. I'll give you an example afterwards. So we tell a story, which is mainly now acting people. So manufacturing and operations manager is one person. So we bring them to life. Yeah. So this is embedded in a story. The problem then we define a problem. Yeah. Tell a story about a typical situation most of us know. And then offer a solution, a possible solution. Yeah. So that is then a scenario, and then we can model it as a possible solution, yeah, for example, then with S-BPM in the Metasonic suite. Then we make a reflection, what was the result, what did we learn out of this solution, and then maybe we can develop the example a little bit further. So go on with the next step of complexity. So we have three scenarios at the end with increasing complexity to show as much as possible what we can do and for what we can use S-BPM as a solution concept or a help, a tool to go on with solutions. The last scenario I noted here with I. So we also did some integration with an ERP system, so to show how can we solve some problems maybe which arise in the integration area. So in that case, we did an integration from the Metasonic suite with Microsoft Dynamics NAV. That is the ERP system I use. So then we can even have a further scenario. As said, and that is the title, the book is full of pictures, of course. Conceptual pictures and photographs. And so we did a photo session to explain the scenario a little bit. So in the scenario, there are two consultants. You can make a guess who these consultants are. And of course, we have other acting people, so that should make it more transparent. Yeah? So, what are the three pillars of the concept behind, so the learning concept? I put it here, tried to extract it a little bit. The first one is visualization. That is clear, S-BPM illustrated, that is in the word. And I hope that you agree, principally, that it's always good to visualize something. So if we look and investigate how the brain is working, then we know that we have a very good machine to understand pictures. So that is the concept. And I got some inspiration during the book out of these books from Dan Rome, if somebody knows them. Does somebody know the book of Dan Rome? So this is the back of the napkin. So the message is always have a napkin and then pen available, and then explain a concept immediately. These are very nice books, and he enhanced it already with blah, 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 so you know a little bit against then maybe the concept of natural language. So draw it, visualize it, is the message. I like both books, and have a look on it. An idea I have already for a long idea is the inspiration by the book of Elia Goldratt, The Goal, A Process Ongoing Improvement, where he explains manufacturing concepts with the help of a story. And it is a very famous book, and it's a perfect example how to use storytelling for learning. And then a main concept is do it also. So visualize the concept, explain the concept, tell a story, so get familiar with the problem and then do it. Yeah, I want to call it a worked example, and I only mention here the famous book of John Hattie already, where we can have the proof that using worked examples is a didactical efficient method, so for the learning experience. So there are a lot of nice pictures in the book, a little bit sketchy, napkin style. And here's an example, only 2 sentences out of the story. So you see you have a direct and indirect speech where we develop a story and to point out and work out the problems we want to solve. Yeah, and here the proof that worked examples is an efficient method for teaching. Out of a lot of so this is out of meta-studies and an analysis of 62 studies. We can say, okay, to do worked examples is a good method for teaching. Then there is also hard work and not only inspiration, but maybe also a lot of transpiration to come up with a good layout. And we did some experiments about this until we found a way how we can structure this information we want to present. So this is a page out of the book, and you see we have here the main part, and on the side, on the margin, we have the explanations of the figures, but also some remarks, so we can add some information which is not so important on the main text, and could make some illustrations, what we mean with this, or some explanations. That is inspired by some things which are available also in other books, so how to present. So Envisioning Information is a very famous book, and also this one, The Elements of Typographic Style, is also a very nice book, how to design books, let's say it in that words. So what can we achieve and what should we do now with this book? So we have some first experience how to use it in, I think, some learning environment. So I used it in a lecture. This was an experiment, let's say, I gave the book, in that case, my students, and said, do it. And they did. So from my students, the feedback was very good. So they could, within 4 hours, 2 2 times 4 hours lecture, they could do all 3 scenarios. But they are rather trained using IT software. So I teach in a very IT-affine study. I think Albert has also used it in some environment already.
Yeah, we asked them to do the first part of the book, and we said,
but they needed 1 week.
you are a professor, they need a little longer, but
yeah, I said it. It depends on the background of the people who are using it. That is clear.
no.
Yeah, that is very important. And there are also some.
Approximately the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. There can be many ideas how to enhance and improve the book. Yeah. For example, I can imagine to combine it with the table in some way. And this is the last slide, so the coffee is not far away for you. And the point is, for such a book, it is a project. In principle, the book is also for you all. Yeah, that is, I think, the intention, to use it, to have a look on it. And I could not discuss it yet, but my idea would be to have some platform where you can, maybe on a website, yeah, maybe on the I2PM website, we can make some discussion forum or something, so that we can gain some insights, some experiences from using the book. And maybe as a last remark, the book will be, for example, full color, yeah? Glossy paper, I hope so. And it is an open book, so it will be available for download. So you can use it easily with customers, with students, and whomever you want to have it. But nevertheless, there will be, I assume.
A beautiful book.
Yeah, you should buy it, yes. or you should ask some very friendly guys at Metasonic if they can sponsor one or another. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Mr. Singer, for your talk. Are there any questions concerning this topic? No, I have one.
That is now a black point for you.
No,
book is a book.
Actually, we are in the area of online media. Are there any plannings to get this content to a new form of media, like online tutorials, videos, and these things? Or to integrate those tutorials into the Metasonic suite, like other vendors do this? Mm-hmm. Are there any plans?
Not from my side, no.
Okay, we had a discussion to add the same scenario with a BPMN suite, and this is, but it's just an idea, and yeah, we will see. But we are more or less open for any proposals, for any ideas.
Okay.
I think we will integrate it in the UTPM website as we did with the other book.
Yep. And maybe also a forum is possible, yeah? It would be nice. So that we get some feedback. So we learned it, yeah, gamification. Yeah, we want to have always feedback, yeah? Instant feedback, often feedback, so that we can develop it. So maybe it is not a finished project, it is a certain milestone to have it now in hand, but we have, I think, a lot of ideas how we could improve, but we need also your input. We would like to have your input.
Each person who makes a proposal will get 1 point. And with 100 points, you get a guided tour through Deggendorf.
Okay. Are there any further questions? No? Then I think we make the transition and go to the coffee state. Thank you.
That is a good transition. Thank you.